Well, welcome everybody to another Sunday night short. We're up in what I laughingly call my office again. We'll take a look at what's on the screen in a minute. Had a great time at the bike show last weekend. It's always a good social evening, though very tiring, not particularly good for your health, since the local Marini group is the drinking section of the Marini Riders Club, and I'm a mere lightweight compared to, in several senses, compared to most of them. And the friends we stay with up there are within walking distances of many fine pubs, and we ate out 3 evenings in a row, which is not good for the health and not good for the wallet, but very enjoyable. Got recognised for the second time in public by a subscriber, and Stephen Boakes, let me just confirm that. Yep, Stephen Boakes. I remembered the name and looked it up later and checked it. Always good to get some feedback on what you're doing, that it's worth the effort. It was a very busy show despite the weather forecast. The weather was actually fairly kind to us. There were some really heavy showers, enough to make the roof leak on the venue. A lot of the traders outside were having a hell of a time of it, but a lot of good, clear, bright sunshine and t-shirt weather as well. So I always make a 4-day weekend of it, because we're obviously setting up on the Friday, and then it's much more relaxing to come back on the Monday. And been working on the race bike, but not really shot much footage. A little few bits and pieces that will hopefully make it in. Few new purchases to review, some of which turned up before I went away, but I hadn't obviously filmed them. And yeah, next weekend is again going to be probably a 4-day weekend, up to Darley Moor for Thunder Sprint, where I am competing in the Golden Years class, I believe it's called, on the Settebello, and not really trying to win anything, more to keep shiny side up, not embarrass myself, and have some fun. And got the silencer built. That's the main thing to get us noise legal. And what I've got on the screen here is a would be nice, and I'm going to see if I can get this done this week, and I will video it whenever I get round to it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't. For the race, it doesn't happen. Not a race, it's a timed sprint. So I'll zoom in on the monitors a bit and give you a better view. Okay, on the left hand monitor is an image I pulled off the web, and it's to convert a standard single cable brake lever to twin levers. Now it's actually assembled incorrectly in this picture. This stub is designed to fit into the end of the brake adjuster, but it should be coming out this side. This fits into the lever in place of the cable nipple, and the lever may have to be drilled through to fit it. And then this can pivot to equalise the pull between the two cables. Now, I did track down someone selling in these in the UK for about £20, which is quite a reasonable sum, because you can easily pay double that. However, the particular levers I've got, the adjusters are quite large, and cables were going to foul, so I've used Design Spark and took some measurements and drawn up a slightly larger version. So I can see if I can spin this around in the correct axes. So you've got the hole for the pivot, clearance hole, and the width of this I may have to play with, because you want to restrict just how far it will pivot, so that in the case of a cable failure, you've still got the other side operational, and it shouldn't, the cable should be fairly well equalised. You shouldn't be relying on it to take it out. So your cables fit in here. I will probably notch these so you can get the cables in and out, because it appears on the original design you'd have to make the cables in situ or use clamp-on nipples, which I don't much like. So I think I've got an idea of how I want to go about making it, and then hopefully that'll be a future video. So let's get on with some of the footage I have shot, and yeah, again a big thank you to everybody who's been wishing me well. Last weekend, despite being very enjoyable, did take it out of me, and that's partly why I haven't shot much footage. I just haven't been together enough to want to do it. And obviously there'll be no video next Sunday, because I will be up at Darley Moor. I'm hoping that somebody will shoot some footage of the weekend. Well, I'll shoot some footage of the weekend. Hopefully someone will shoot some footage of me that I can use, which will go either into a weeknight video or into the next Sunday. And again, a welcome to new subscribers. We're up to 670 something, I think, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Never really expected to get that many people interested. When I started out, it was really just to do the Marini servicing stuff, and the machining just kind of happened as bits and pieces, and the Marini community being quite small, there were actually more people interested in the machine shop stuff. Anyway, let's get on to the other stuff. Some time back I picked up this nice milling cutter. It's coming a little closer here. A nice Seco. What size is that? So it's coming out at about 41 millimeters, 1.65 inches. So I took this up to the Stafford show, because I know that JB Cutting Tools always have a stand up there, and are good for inserts. So having handed it over, and the lady who runs the stand going all gooey about a quality cutter like this, she came up with some suitable inserts. So I got two sets, and they were about, I think, £2.80 an insert, so they're quite good value. And I've been meaning to get myself some more inserted tip cutting tools, because I don't really use the carbide inserts very much. So the it's a 12mm shank, which suits my machine reasonably well. It's £18 with an insert plus a spare insert, and these are the polished for a high finish on aluminium, or indeed a final pass on steel. And I got some of the some uncoated inserts with a simple chip breaker for the tougher materials. And again, I think the extra inserts were £2.80 each. This isn't too bad. The pocket had some burrs and stuff in it, which I took out with the diamond lap. But for the money, I think that's a good addition. I'll try that out sometime soon and give you the results. Now, one of the things I went up to the Stafford show, well, one of the things I was shopping for at the Stafford show was some bits to make the silencer for the race bike. And Motad, who make exhausts, go up with a bunch of boxes of overstocks and seconds and, you know, stuff that might have gouges in it and kinks and stuff that's not good enough for customer exhausts. So what I was actually after, they normally have a few reduction cones, and unfortunately they didn't come up with the promised box of cones on the second day. But what I did do was get one 90-degree bend with a long enough length of the 2-inch that I wanted, and they charged me just £5. And so I cut this on the bandsaw, and I've been using the linisher to take it down to a 2-to-1 cone. And bit of tubing that I've slit and shrunk down, so that's now about a 1.5-inch bore to slip over the downpipe. So we'll get that all tigged up, and I've got some special TIG welding flux for stainless steel that avoids you having to back purge. So I'll show you how that works when I actually get round to doing the TIG work. Now, been doing some more shopping, and this turned up the other day. I haven't opened it yet. So this is nice Bakelite box. And one, I've worked out how to open it. There we go. Which way upwards is it? That way up. So a set of, I mean the box is, I think Bakelite, yeah, it must be Bakelite. So these will be fairly old. So, set of slip gauges. The look to be in pretty decent condition. Ends are all clean and apparently unworn. The protective slips are there, and I think I paid about £50 including delivery. So yeah, very nice set. I mean, these are really nice clasps on here. That one's lost part of its spring, which is why I was having some difficulty opening it. Oh, I see, it's just might just have come adrift, got misaligned. I'll sort that out later. So, Coventry Gauge and Tool Company Limited. And it says inspection, so presumably this is an inspection grade set. Amid the utter chaos out here, I have managed to put together a silencer. At the front here we've got a 1 to 2 inch cone, and then I made up a pair of flanges. Unfortunately I really wasn't feeling like filming any of this. However, I'll show you the result. It's the rear flange with the perforated tube down the centre. I was trying out my new inserted turning tool, which that polished high rake insert certainly gave a nice finish. And I've got the roll of special exhaust wadding, which just goes in fairly loosely and then expands under heat to the correct fill density. So once that's in, that'll get pop riveted like the front joint, and I'm fairly confident that'll get it down below the noise 105 decibel limit. I think that's the last critical job before Thunder Sprint. The fuel tank is suffering badly from fuel degradation, but I've got a pair of new taps for it and it should hold up for the moment. And then what I may have to do is probably cut the bottom out of it. And make a steel tank and just use this fiberglass tank as a cover. I can get from Italy tanks, fiberglass tanks guaranteed for E85 for not stupid amounts of money, but then I'd still have to paint it up and make it look nice. Well, decide whether we want to go that route later on. But this has been sitting and the inside's gone hard again. There was no sign of leakage, it was just that the resin was starting to feel tacky. So it was on its way to failure. I haven't been leaving fuel in it anyway, but even just the fumes with with it sealed. And of course, if you let any fuel evaporate in there, you end up with residue. So it's a bit of a problem these days. It's not just the ethanol. I always use the high octane stuff that's got very little ethanol in it. But it's a lot of the other compounds, the xylenes and toluenes and benzenes and oxidizers and all sorts, and in combination. So I think that's pretty much it for the moment. I haven't decided whether I'm going to try and put the fairing on it. I think they prefer to have the machines unfaired for Thunder Sprint in any case.